The AGT live shows for 2024 are only a few weeks away because we have the Paris Olympics to be watching in a way because the Paris Olympics are on right now. So in the meantime, we don't know quite yet who's made the live shows to join the 9 golden buzzers. But in this video, I'll be giving out my prediction on who I think will make it to the live shows using this team maker list I did very similarly to a year ago for season 18 of AGT. So without any further ado, let's get straight into this video. So, as you probably know by now, the America's Got Talent auditions actually ended last Tuesday, meaning we had no Golden Buzzer last week, which is interesting because it makes sense as well because all 9 of them had been given out because the rules having the judges having 2 Golden Buzzers, which I found interesting, but Terry had his only one, which is I feel like Terry could have had another one, in my honest opinion. But regardless, the auditions came to a close, meaning in about 2 weeks roughly, the live shows will be starting. But as of right now, we don't quite know who's made it just yet, because But hopefully, we'll get some information out very soon. But I think and also the AGT, not the AGT, the Masked Singer season 12 trailer has dropped for season 12, which I'm very looking forward to seeing. As I'll probably do a video on that maybe today or maybe later today or maybe tomorrow. Depends if my schedule of stuff. But anyways, regardless, Rita Ora will be coming back for the panel. I'm very looking forward to seeing that, as I think she's very talented. I've mentioned this before, but of course, Nicole is sadly not coming back for another season because she's on the West End doing her show. I think she's coming to Broadway. I think so. It'd be nice. It would be pretty cool to see her maybe come back as maybe drop in, and give us a clue or something like, "Oh, hi guys, I'm here to bring this clue." But hey, regardless, I'm excited. For the next Masked Singer season, I'll probably do a video analysing the trailer. But let's not talk about the Masked Singer now. Let's talk about America's Got Talent. So as I said, the live show is only a few weeks away, and I'm gonna be doing something I did last year, which was my tier maker list. So before we do anything, let's just go over the categories very quickly. So we had So let's check something. Oh,
motion detected.
My Alexa going off quite there, which is okay. So let's go through it quick. So we have different categories. So we have the top 5 finalists, basically the first, second, third, fourth, fifth. We have the finals bottom 6, and I say bottom 6 because we have the wild card for the nominations. Now this one's a little bit different because I normally had the wildcard nominations, but instead I have the potential dark horse, so where contestants I think could kind of come out of the radar and be like a dark horse like within seconds. Then we have the semi-finals top 3 finishers, who would most likely place third in their semi-final. The semi-finalist top 5 finisher, regardless, so it's basically the two acts that don't make the top 3. Then we have the semi-finals, which is basically the contestants who I think will most likely get eliminated in the semi-finals. And then we have the deliberations, who I think won't make the live shows. So this is very straight out. I will leave a link to this.
Motion detected.
My Alexa is really bugging me. I'm sorry. Get that out of here. Sorry about that, folks. But regardless, I will leave a link to the tier maker. If you want to do your very own in the comments below, I'll pin it in the comments. I'll do that so you can make your own. But anyways, so then let's just scroll down where we have all the contestants that have made the live shows. If it will. This community is a little bit laggy, I have to say, but we have all these contestants who made the deliberations, which is cool. So it's basically, I'm just gonna give my predictions, so who I think will make the live show. So I think we should just get started. Let's just get straight into it. Starting off with the Los Osos High School. Now, I'll be honest with you, while I do think they're very talented, and like Simon said, it's like a AGT version of High School Musical. They don't really necessarily wow me to the dance acts we've had this year on AGT and past years. So I think they'll probably make it, but I definitely don't see them making it any further in a way. So there we go. So I think they'll make it the semi-finals as their ceiling. Let me just get some water quickly. Got my 2 bottles of water here because I get thirsty very easily. Oh, my bottle's a bit warm because out of the sun, I suppose. Cold water as well, which is nice. Then we have Dev, the mathematician, the 2-year-old mathematician. Now, a lot of people, I know people agree with me, but for now, I don't see him making the semi-final. While I do think it's very cool what he does, doing the mathematicians and whatnot, I also love the fact that Dad's involved. When he was asking the judges, can you please, give a random number, and then the young lad did the math equations. I thought was so cool, but I don't necessarily see how that could be leveled in the semi-finals. That makes sense. So I have him here for now. Then we have Sam Hang, the magician who did the routine of the ring. I think he's very good. I can definitely see him kind of maybe surprising us along the way, but I do think he will definitely make it to the at least one of the top 5. But I do think he will place third in his semi-final as of right now. Then we have Learn More Janasi, and he is going straight up in the top 5 finalists. I think he is incredibly funny. He's so talented, so likable. And also, we've not had a comedian win AGT yet. I mean, unless you count Paul Zerdin, who kind of won AGT. He kind of had comedy in his act in a way, if that makes sense. So I do think Learn More could potentially be the first comedian to win AGT. And I do think he's got a real shot as well. And it'd be so nice. It'll be so great to see a comedian win this year. It'd be fantastic. Then we have Ashley Montage. I think that's how you pronounce it. I can't pronounce second names. I think she'll most likely. There we go. What was all my cursor there? I do think she'll most likely make it, but I can only see her making it to this semi-final as of right now. So that's her. And also, I mean, balancing is really difficult to do. I mean, what she was able to do with the bottles, it was really impressive, very entertaining as well. But I'm not too sure how you could balance. You can kind of take that to another level, if that makes sense. Also, then Renya Roberts, it's again kind of similar. I think I could see it kind of getting the country votes, but I think, and I believe she's already famous as well. So I think, as of right now, I think she'll be eliminated she'll get the cut in the semis. Then we have the Indian contortionist, Arisha. I think that's how you pronounce her name. Again, I'm terrible at pronouncing names. I do think she'll make it to the I think she'll definitely make at least the top 5 in her semi-final, and especially with her fan base kind of rooting behind her. Then we have Tony Kaku, the BGT alumni, I have to say, Tony Kaku is interesting because while I do think he's a very memorable contestant who has been on different 8 Got Talent shows over the past year, the thing with me is I just don't understand the Japanese comedy that they have on AGT. To me, or BGT, it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know if it's just my sense of humor, but I don't know. But look, to be honest, why I'm so tempted to put him I do think he'll most likely make the semi-final, but I think that'll be his ceiling, so I don't think he'll make it too far, so I think he'll probably be limited in the semi-final. Then we have Richard Goddell, and without question, he is going right at the top of the top 5. I have him as my winner prediction. I've been saying this since he performed in the auditions. That I think his audition is definitely the most viral with 20 million views. He seems so likable, so genuine, and he's the type of singer I would love to see win the show, especially when Sydney Christmas won BGT this year. The first singer since, I think, Colin Thackeray to win BGT. So I think it's fantastic, and I'd love to see Richard win. To me, it would be absolutely fantastic to see him win. Because I think, like I said, he seems so likable, so genuine. I just think that's brilliant in a contestant like him. Then Chrysias Whitehead, the young drummer. Again, I think he's incredibly talented for his age. But I do think he will make the semis, but I don't see him making it too far after that. There we go. So I do think he'll probably place in there. Then we have the Ashes and Arrows, the band. the singing group who did their own song called Born to Love, and how he actually didn't, how he said that it sounded more like pub music, which I definitely disagreed with. I loved the song choice. I loved their vocals actually. So I actually think the public will definitely group behind, and I think they'll could definitely place top 5 in their respective live show. Then Akuna Matata's acrobatics, and I have to say for this one, I'm being kind of going back and forth as I would love to see an acrobatic like them in the finals, and I would not complain one bit if they do. But I feel like they could. I'm kind of like torn between here, basically the finals, top 3. But I think at the end of the day, I think they'll make it to the top 3 in their semi-final. Also because I think they were stumbling a little bit at the beginning of their audition, if I remember correctly. But I can definitely see them kind of surprising us. Then we have Nini, the Chinese guitarist, who performed like kind of like rock. Well, I think it was classical music. It was like a rock style. Again, I think she's very talented, but in my opinion, it's not my cup of tea in a way. I don't want to sound like I'm being negative here because I'm not. But she's good, but I don't think it's enough. And then we have Liv Warfield, which is Simon's golden buzzer. I do think this is an interesting one because while I think she could definitely be like a dark horse, I feel like while her audition was very good and a very understandable golden buzzer, I feel like her vocals were kind of drowning out because of the band, So I think if the band does return, she will have to maybe have the band die down a little bit so it doesn't over drown her vocals as much. But I could definitely see her in the top 5 for sure in her semi-final. Then we have Sabrina, the Japanese dance group. I think that they kind of remind me of Avantgarde, of how slick they are, And Simon said you've got a real shot of winning. He said that to them in the auditions earlier this year, and I'm sticking with that. I do genuinely think they've got a real shot. I have to say. So, I think I've got a feeling they're going to definitely do well. I think they'll definitely make the final. Philip Lewis, the baton twirler. Again, I think he's very talented, but I can only see him in the semi-finals as of right now. Then we have Bao Xiong, the Danger Act. Look, I do like a good Danger Act, but I'm sorry, but I think he's going to be eliminated in the deliberations. I'm sorry, I do like Danger Acts, but still. Then Sky Elements, and I do think they will definitely make the finals of how unique it is. And I have them in 4th place in my predictions. So, it's so unique what they do. What they're able to do is very unique in a way. So, they remind me of Metaphysics back in 2022, back in the 2022 season, where what they were able to do with AI was so incredible. I'd never seen that like them. And the fact they made it to 4th place in one of the best finals we've ever had on AGT, it really was a proper final in season 17. So I do genuinely think they could. I could definitely see them getting 4th place like Metaphysics did back in 2022. Next is Andre Burton, the BMX biker. I'm slightly biased towards this guy because he was on BGT back in last year. But I do have him as my semi-finalist. But I don't think. I mean, I'm kind of biased because I do want him in the semi-finals. I don't want him to have to curse again where he doesn't get to the live shows. I really hope he makes it. Then we have the boy Samuka. I think again I can kind of see him being one of the under the radar, but then give us a great performance, which would get him a shot. But for now, I'm having my top 3 finisher. The Ret Claws are next, and the Ret Claws are interesting because they kind of remind me a little bit of Ray Free back in 2018, where the sibling band who dedicated their song to their mother who passed away from cancer. And I think their mother passed away from something. I think it was cancer. I'm not too sure. But I think, I do think I can kind of see them kind of like dipping a little bit in the semis. So I have them in the semi-final category. Then Ronnie and Sagi, the dog act. Ronnie and Rhythm, the dog act. I'm a little bit biased here because, I could see them kind of being a dark horse to get to the final. So I definitely think they'll make it to the final for sure. I mean, I'm not too sure, but I could kind of see them in the in that area because Adrian Hurricane last year. I've said this before, and what makes them so good as a dark horse was because Adrian Hurricane, I never expected to get to the final and let alone win. As when it was up against them, and Mitch Russell, I thought for sure it'd be Mitch in the final, but no, Mitch was eliminated, and it left with Adrian in the final and Hurricane, which I think was pretty cool. And I could kind of see that happening with Ronnie, Sagi, and Rhythm. You know what I mean. So I think they could definitely be one of the dark horses. Well, similar to Adrian Hurricane. Then we have Solarange Cardinale. I cannot pronounce. I think it's a French name or something. Basically the quick change artist. I have her in my semi-finals eliminated because while I think she's incredibly talented, I mean, Leah Kyle. I don't think anyone could beat Leah Kyle in terms of quick change. I think she's brilliant. Solange is brilliant, but I'm not sure how. I'm not quite sure if she's be able to step it up, but I think she can definitely. Then we have Biko's Manor. Now, Biko's Manor is definitely an interesting one because thinking about it, I do generally can see them as like a potential dark horse, in the competition, as how we did say to them. So they go in the category for dark horse. I think Howie said that they've got a shot at getting the $1 million, which I think is actually possible. But I mean, look what happened to Trig Watson. Howie said that for Trig Watson, who was the magician, but he went out in the semi-finals. Which I kind of hope it's not the same for Biko's Man, as they are very talented, but we'll see what happens. Then Legion, which was Sophia's golden buzzer for the Malamba group. Again, to me, they have to be. They're my pick for the final as well. Like, especially because I don't think. Look, I'll be the first to say this, but I think Legion are the best golden buzzer this year, in my opinion, because we don't often get Malavo groups on the show. Because the last time I remember having one was back in 2016 with Legion. No, not Legion. Malavo. So to see these guys, to see Legion in the final would just be fantastic in my opinion. And I love this type of dance group. It's just so entertaining. It's so cool. Just everything. I love it. Then we have Jelly Boy the Clown. As impressive actor was, I think he'll probably get limited in the semi-final. Then Dee Simon's up next, and I actually have her as my wildcard pick. So I think she'll definitely make the final regardless wildcard or not. But I do think I can kind of see her getting that in a way. Oh, this water is warm in one of my other bottles. Then we have Hyper Kids Africa. They remind me of Getter Kids a little bit, so I can definitely see them being a potential dark horse. But for now, I have them in my semi-finals eliminated category. Fluids and Inkaby, the rapping father and son duo. I think, like Sophia said, they could definitely go a long way in the competition. Now, again, I have them in the semi-finals category here. Daniel Simu, the robot type dance act. Again, I thought it was very impressive, but I'm not too sure. I don't think it's enough to get to the semi-finals. Stephanie Rainey, the singer from Ireland, who performed a tribute to her nephew, I think, who passed away. I can definitely see the public liking her. I think she's definitely got a shot here. So I have her in my semi-final category. Actually, the semi-final top 5 category. I have to drink water every time I speak. The Dark Dominoes, the Domino Act. I think while it's incredible what they do, I'm not certain if they're going to be able to how they will be able to do another act, as and apparently their audition they did it overnight. So, but I do think I don't know. It's hard, but I think they'll probably get eliminated in the deliberations, which I'd be gutted if they do because what they do is very good. Then we have Maya, the guitarist, the 10-year-old guitarist. I think the same with Nini. She's very good, but compared to Nini, who I can definitely see semi-final, I don't quite see the same for Maya as right now. Then Joe DeRidge, the magician, and I've stated this before, and I said this in my first prediction, my early picks and predictions video for AGT. But again, I can honestly see him get to the final. I really can. So I think he'll definitely be. he could definitely like pull a Nicholas Ribbs on us and give us a very good performance overall. So I think it's possible for him to get to the final. Then we have L6. I think they've got a shot, but I don't see them make. Actually, I don't know. Actually, I think they'll probably be limited in the semi-finals, but I just don't know about them. I thought their audition was pretty good, but it didn't like. I don't know. I can't describe it. Then Brent Street, Howie's golden buzzer. They're going straight to the top here in my fifth place era because and also I have to say their audition felt like the final. To be honest, with you, it was that good. Their audition was that good that I could definitely see them kind of like making the top five easily, especially because Howie's golden buzzer last year in Murmuration they got to the top three, I think. So I can see the same happening for Brent Street making the top five. Then the TT brothers. I'm sorry, but I don't want them in the semi-finals. I don't want them in the semi-finals. I don't care. I said this before. The Japanese comedy acts, and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but they don't make sense to me. They don't make sense. So I just bottom line, I don't want them in the semi-final. Then we have Oscar Stenbridge, the singer from Sweden. I could definitely see him kind of coming out of the shadow. But as of right now, I have him as my eliminated semi-finalists. Then we have Sebastian and Sonia. In my opinion, they are going straight into the top five finisher. There we go. As I think what they are able to do is fantastic. We've had some pretty good aerialists make the top five in their semi-final, so I definitely think they'll do. I definitely think it will happen. The same to them. Boss Baby Brody, the 8-year-old dancer who did "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen. I think he'll most likely make the semi-final, but I don't see him making it any further in a way. Attraction Junior, I can kind of see him having the same issue. I'm kind of between here and here. But I'm going to say here, semi-final eliminated for now. But when I say it's so between these two categories, I do generally mean that. Then we have Erica Rhodes, the comedian. I think she's very likable, and I think she will definitely make the semi-final. Kind of similar to like Maureen from season 18 last year. But I can, I could see her making it decently in the semi-final. Then we have Menudo, the boy band. Again, I think they're talented, but I don't. In my opinion, I can't quite see them making it too far. Then we have Young Min, the magician from South Korea. I think he's very good. I thought the whole routine was very good. He's got a good shot at making it far. So I'm gonna say I think he could. I think he'll probably be in a top five finisher as of right now. I think he'll probably make the top five. Then we have Pranaiska Mishra. Now I have to say, Pranaiska is an interesting one because her audition I thought was just sensational. I thought she killed River Street Mountain High, River Deep Mountain High. It was basically a Tina Turner song she sang, which I thought she nailed, and one of my favourite golden buzzers as well in the singing category, along with Richard. But this is again, it's interesting because while on paper I feel like she's like the Courtney Hadwin, where everybody's expecting her to be in the final. I could kind of to be honest with you, I can kind of see that having like the dark horse top three era in a way. I think she'll probably be in the top three finisher. I think she'll place third in that semi-final compared to the golden buzzers. But I could also see her getting the wildcard nomination from one of the judges if she doesn't make the final. Then we have Super Silver Jr., the acrobatic act, which I thought was incredible. I think he could go decently far, but for now I have him as my semi-final eliminated spot. Then we have Alex Sampson, actually, which I do like Alex Sampson. I think his songwriting is really good. He's a very good songwriter, so it's just difficult because while I think his voice is very good and he's got a brilliant songwriting, I think he'll probably be eliminated in the semi-finals as of right now, in my opinion. Then we have Estribute, the dance group. I think I pronounced their name wrong. I don't think they'll make it. I'm sorry, guys. I think what they do is good, but it's like I said this earlier on. But I think the dance groups, like the dance groups like Effortworks, Sabrina, all these type of groups I think could definitely make it deep in the competition. But these guys aren't quite there for me. Reed Wilson is next, Howie's Golden Buzzer, and this is an interesting one again, but I think he's one of the weakest Golden Buzzers in terms of the singing kind of aspect. So, but I think he could definitely make the top 5 finishing placements. And, but I don't quite see him making it any further. I mean, but he's very good though. And I think his fan base would definitely root for him, especially because his brother was on The Voice a while back, and I think he made the finals. I think so. It's gonna be interesting to see if Reed could do that in his footsteps. And then we have Praveen, the head balancer from India. I think he'll definitely make the semi-finals. I think he's got a shot. Balancing is one of my favorite acts on the show, so to see him do it would be fantastic. We have Pete Thompson. I think he's very good again, but I don't quite see him in any going any further in a way other than the semi-final. I think it's the comments he got in the feedback he got in the audition, which I can kind of agree with. Helen the Foot Juggler, who did the juggling, which I thought was very entertaining, very unique. But as of right now, I see her as my semi-final eliminating act. No, I do think she'll be in the semi-finals for sure. The Balloon Taro, the balloon act with the two guys, the dad and the son, I think, kudos to them, but I don't see them getting the semi-final. Mia Sanchez. Now, again, an interesting one here, but I do think she could definitely get to the top 3 of her semi-final for sure. Oops, sorry about that, folks. Let me just plug my laptop in quickly. It looks a little bit low. Right, there we go. I don't know if you saw that. You probably did, but oh well. There we go. It's on charge now. Then we have I'm going to try and pronounce their name now. Let me just find them. Ilya and Anastasia, the kind of balancing act. I think they'll make it. I definitely think they'll make the semi-final for sure. But I think that's their ceiling as of right now. I think. Oh, okay, there we go. Put that down there. There we go. Then we have next. Who do we have? Hurry up, please. Oh, a second. The laptop's a bit laggy. The Jerusalem Youth Choir. I think they'll probably make it. I think I can only see them as their semi-final elimination because I think a bit of their audition was a bit montage. I think from what I've heard because the camera cuts, which I didn't see. I didn't take any notice, but I do think they will probably make the semi-final regardless. Jabu and Cornelio, the dancer slash drumming act. I'm going bold here, but I think they could be in the final. I actually think what they're able to do is so unique. I've not seen dance, I've not seen drumming at the same time, which I think it's so impressive in a way. It's brilliant. It's absolutely fantastic. So I can totally see them being a dark horse in the competition to make the final. I just love it. Then Horst, the pain taker. I'm sorry, but you have to be in the deliberations. I'm sorry, but I don't want to see you go through that much pain anymore. It's tough. It's tough. It really is tough. I'm sorry. Then we have Melvin Mayo. Melvin. I think he'll definitely get to the top 5 of this semi-final. I think he's very likable, especially with his story being a police officer. I think his story will definitely boost him up there. Then we have Alexander, the contortionist. I think he's impressive, I don't think he'll make it, in my opinion, especially with the other contortionist from the first episode. I don't think he's on that level, in my opinion. So, yeah. Insane Shane, again, it's the same here. It's the same. Oh, what happened? What the flip happened there? There we go. Anyways, Insane Shane, I have the same thing. I think he'll get eliminated in the semi-final. Then we have Schumacher, the Sophia's surprise and golden buzzer. Again, this is obvious in my opinion. A cannon folder. There's no chance they're gonna make it any other further. I mean, I'm still shocked that those guys got the golden buzzer. I feel like it was a real waste of it as well, in my opinion. So that's just my opinion. AO. Then we have Deanne Ray. Now, again, to be honest with you, I loved Deanne Ray. I love his voice. I think his second performance when he was singing Spanish was fantastic, and I just think he's so likable. And he's got this Daniel Emmett vibe where I can totally see him having a completely dark horse run and actually get to the. So I have him as my potential dark horse this season for sure. Then we have the Forest of Haunts. I've been kind of back and forth on them, but I don't want to see him in the semi-final. I just don't. I don't want to see. I don't want to get scared again. I really don't. Then we have the ex-Pogo stunt team, and I'm biased here. I don't care if people can. You guys can call me biased as much, but I have them as 3 finishers. I don't know why, but I'm kind of biased as well because Duncan Murray, who was on BGT this year, he's part of the ex-Pogo stunt team. So I'd love to see him. I would love to see them in the semis. So to see them kind of like build up again. So I hope if they do make it, I hope they kind of improve what they do because they did make a mistake. His performance in the live shows of BGT wasn't too strong. So I do hope he makes it though. Black Peppers, the Japanese kind of variety act, it was impressive, but again, I don't quite see it making the live shows. Then we have what was that? Okay. Then we have Kelsey Jane, not Kelsey Jane. The other Haley, I think that's her name. I can't remember her second name, but I think she'll get to the semi-finals until. Then we just switch you guys around. There we go. Now let's talk about Kelsey Jane. I think she'll definitely 1, 2, 3, 4. I think she'll make. I think she'll be in the deliberation round, as of right now. Oh, did I accidentally put her in the? Oh, I put her in the wrong category. Hang on. I think she'll be in the semi-finals definitely. Hurry up. There we go. Then we have Journey, the 9-year-old singer. I do think he could be a dark horse, as you know. I mean, for 9 years old to be singing like that and be doing his own songs, I think is really tremendous. You know, it's really commendable. I think his voice, like for 9 years old, his voice is absolutely fantastic. I think he's incredibly talented. He's got proper star potential as well, and yeah, I think he could make a deep run. Alejandro Pellin, the magician, the acrobatic act, the balancing act, hand balancer. I think he could make the semi-final top 5. I think he'll. I mean, I'm kind of. Yeah. I think he'll make the top 5 in his semi-final for sure. Then we have Jonathan Burns, the magician. Very enjoyable, very likable, but I don't quite see him in the semi-finals as of right now. Then Air Footworks, the most anticipated act now this season. And you know where they're going. They're going straight in the top 5 in third place as of right now. So I forgot to mention this is basically first, second, third, fourth, fifth, just to let you know. But Air Footworks, like, look, I don't think I've been more blown away by a dance act like these guys. Like, they are so incredible of how in sync they are, how synchronized, how slick, everything. They're just a phenomenal dance group. And literally, I'll tell you this now: if they don't get to the semi-finals, I am gonna riot the roof down because they're so incredible. They're just such an incredible dance group. If they don't get to the semi-finals, I'm gonna be calling cap. I'd say Corky Miller, the comedian. I think she'll most likely make the semi-final. She's very likable. Actually, but at the same time, I don't think she would. So I have her here. But then finally, Brooke Bailey, the singer. I think she'll definitely make it as well because of Aretha Franklin's such an amazing singer, and the songs they perform is just fantastic. So I think she's got a real shot as well. So there you guys have it. This is my my tier list prediction for the live shows for AGT 2024. Now, of course, like I said, I will link this in the pinned comment so you can do your very own ranking. Of course, so just let me know your thoughts below. If you agree, if you disagree, just let me know in the comments below. If you enjoy this video, like I said, thank you so much for watching this video. I'll keep you updated in terms of the live shows, and other AGT stuff coming our way. I'll keep you updated on that. But thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys